Now, if you've just bought a brand new Mercedes, you may have had what's called a handover, and that's where a salesperson or like a product expert will go through the entire car. And they're quite in depth, I'm not gonna lie. So what I've decided to do is basically just recreate one for you guys. So you can basically go along the chapters along the bottom of the video and skip to your preferred section. So we're covering all sorts of things in this video, from the multimedia system to the steering wheel. It's quite in depth. Now, for the keen-eyed viewer, you'll know that the car I have here is a Mercedes EQE SUV, which means it's an electric car. But don't let that put you off. Just in case you have a petrol or diesel, this video should apply to you as well. I'm not going to make this just about electric cars. Whether you've got petrol, diesel, hybrid or electric, it should apply to you if you've bought a relatively new Mercedes-Benz over the past couple of years or so. So, starting out with your Mercedes-Benz key, I'll throw this up on screen so you can see. So we have the lock button, unlock button, and a boot release button. Now, depending on the type of car, if you have like a V-Class or a Marco Polo, they may have extra buttons to, for example, open different components of the boot, but typically a key will look like this: lock, unlock, and boot release. To do the boot, you hold the button and it'll, of course, undo the boot, or you can press the badge in on the back, or depending on the type of car, sometimes it's underneath here. But in this one, let's push the badge in and it'll open just like this. Now, when it comes to the boot, depending on the type of Mercedes that you've bought, typically SUVs will have release switches in this area here on the left or the right hand side, which enables you to fold the seats down. Now, in this particular car, because it's electric, there's actually release handles just behind the seatbelt here. So easier to do on the other side, but if you are going to fold them down, quite simply, just pull the lever and then they come down just like this. But yes, some of them are electrically releasing, and some, for example, like in the Mercedes-Benz GLS, actually have dedicated buttons which you can press and they'll fold down electrically and come back up electrically as well. But yeah, either manual release or electric release on the side there. Now, in this particular car, there's also a 12-volt socket just over there as well, so in case you need to power an accessory in the back or like a dash cam or something, quite easy to have that there. And then there's also a little bit of underfloor storage space, little hooks as well that you can actually hang up to the top up there so it stays open. So Mercedes-Benz have thought of some of these things. So that's the charge cable, because obviously this car is electric, so yeah, it won't be needing that because we're fully charged at the moment. And then other components under here, usually first aid kit, locking bolts, high-vis jacket, Mercedes-Benz branded of course, and yeah, various other things. You will also find this. Now, this is what's called a certificate of conformity. It's very expensive. Do not lose it. My recommendation is to take this out and put it basically in a secure place at home, usually with your car documents. But yeah, I think it's about £100 to £200 this one, so keep it safe. Lastly, there's a warning triangle there and a tyre repair kit. But yeah, that is pretty much the boot. The only other thing that I haven't shown is this thing. So pull this across and it hooks up just underneath there like that. Stops any prying eyes looking at your contents on the inside of the boot. But yeah, that is the boot. To close the boot, there's a stop and close button just up here. So press this and it will close. Press it again and it will stop halfway. Press the badge on the outside to open it back up, so in case you think it's going to hit something, but also if it does hit something, it will stop. It'll probably just give you a headache in the meantime. But yeah, there are some safety mechanisms built in to stop it like crushing something. So yeah, that is the boot. The other button there is a lock button, so if you have finished driving and finished getting stuff out the boot, just press the lock button, and providing you have the key, it will automatically lock as you walk away. So let's have a look at the charging flap or the fuel filler cap on the side of the car. Now, when it comes to the charging flap or the fuel filler cap, of course, this will either be on the left-hand side or the right-hand side. Most often, it's on the right-hand side, although some Mercedes, for example, on the A-Class, B-Class, current CLA and GLA and GLB, it can be on the left-hand side. And to add another note, if you have a plug-in hybrid, you will of course have both, because you have an engine and of course a battery. And interestingly, Mercedes have actually started to make these motorized now, so when you press this in, a motor brings it out just like that. I have to be quick because it will go away in a second to automatically close. Now, as I said, this is an electric car, so this actually has 2 ports. So to keep this very, very simple for this video, basically you have slow and fast charging on the top there, and then rapid charging, so type 2 on the top, and then CCS, which goes in both. Now for EV owners, this does vary on the type of car. Some, when you unlock the Mercedes, it will unlock the cable as well. But if it doesn't, there's always a button here to release the cable, just in case. Some models do vary. Just double check first so you're not kind of caught out when you're out in public charging. Oh, and I should also add as well, the plug-in hybrids, they typically do have a fuel release switch on the driver's door, so just something to factor in. Told you it would go in. Now, one last thing is that tyre pressures actually used to be on here. Certainly for my car it is, but certainly on the new ones, they've started to put it on the driver's door, which I'll show you now. And the tyre pressures are on this sticker just here. And I said it's on the fuel filler cap for my car, so it does very little, but on this car, they've started to put them in the kind of driver's seal here. So for this car, this one has 21-inch wheels, 41 PSI and 38 PSI, 41 for the front, 38 for the back. So nice and easy. Just bear in mind Mercedes trip computers use kPa as a reading, so it's a little bit more accurate. So that's why there's conversions here, so you can convert it to PSI from the UK. Now, just before we jump into the inside, just going to show you how to set the seat up. Now, again, this does vary from model to model, so it's either done in 1 or 2 places. There'll either be a lever underneath the seat to, of course, move it forwards and backwards, and then there's sometimes electrical adjustments just down here on the bottom of the seat, or it's on the door. So you can tell instantly if you have this little symbol here, this means you have electric seats. So you can move this forwards and backwards here like this, and up and down. Notice it's actually pictured like a seat. You just move this mini seat and it will move the seat in the direction, including on some cars even the headrest as well, so pretty cool. Now you'll notice that there are M, 1, 2 and 3 buttons, so you can program the memory for up to 3 people. So if you're like me, I'll just have memory 1, then my partner, for example, memory 2, and then 3 could just be for, I don't know, getting in and out, or, I don't know, sleeping position or something. But yeah, if you have another driver, it could be 3. So that's what the M1, 2 and 3 is. Set your seat. M1, we'll save it for 1, M2, we'll save it for 2, and M3, we'll save it for 3. To load up your seat, simply just press your number when you're logged into your profile, which we'll get onto in just a second. Now I've just switched the ignition on, hence why you can see all this blue illuminated light appear everywhere. We'll get onto that in a second. But this top one here is your heated seats. So press this once and it will go to max, medium, low and off. Just bear in mind it does automatically time down after about 10 to 12 minutes or so, around about that time, just so it doesn't cook you. There's unlock and lock buttons here, just in case you need to unlock the car for any reason, although it will automatically lock by default above 10 miles an hour, so just something to factor in if you're going to let someone in. And then, of course, all the other buttons are for mirrors in this section here, and then, of course, we have windows here. Now, underneath, there's also a boot release, and this is also where that fuel filler cap release switch will be if you have a particular plug-in hybrid that has that feature. But otherwise, typically just the boot release will be down there. Although, if you have an A-Class, for example, like myself, as my daily car, I don't have that boot release. It's just a manual pull up and down. Alright guys, so once you're in the car, make sure the seats is all set up exactly the way you want it, and of course don't forget to do the steering wheel and of course the mirrors. The steering wheel is actually adjusted using a little toggle just behind the steering wheel here, so you can move it up and down and in and out. Now if you don't have an electric steering wheel, like with that toggle there, there's a lever just underneath. Put your thumb in, then push down, then of course you can move it up and down. That's pretty much the same as like my A-Class at home. Just make sure you put that lever back up afterwards to secure it in place. So I think the first thing to do is to probably go through the multimedia system. So this is of course what it will look like when you first turn it on. I will add, there are different users and things you can add to the car. So for example, you know how you log into a Windows PC or a Mac and you type in your password? You can do that for this, and I do recommend it if you are going to be sharing your car with other people. Now you don't have to do that. I'm not going to show you how to do that in this video, so I have actually already made another video on how to do that. So I'm going to link that up above, and I'll also put it in the description down below. If you want to add some users, you can add up to 6 or 7 per car. So first things first, let's go through these buttons, then we'll go through the screen. So down here we have dynamic with arrows left and right. Basically this is your drive mode. Most cars have this these days. This will include the electric Mercedes here. So you can press this and cycle between these different modes. So you've got an eco mode, a comfort mode, a sport mode, and an individual mode as well. These affect various different things, and you can actually see what they affect by looking on the top left hand corner there. So it'll be engine or drivetrain, suspension and steering. So pretty cool, can be adjusted all up there. Then after this, there's a parking assistance button. Now this actually activates park assist, so where the car can help park automatically into a space, pretty much just like this where the steering wheel turns around. But then also can show you the cameras around the car as well. Now this particular car doesn't have all the gadgets in the world, so it doesn't have a 360-degree camera, for example. So pressing this is only going to bring up the reversing camera. This brings me very neatly on how to actually navigate and get out of things on the multimedia system. So you notice there's a back button, a home button, previous track and next track just there as well. Simply just press the back button and it'll go back. After this, there's an EQ button. So anything relating to EQ on a lot of Mercedes relates to the electric settings and things. So I'm not going to go through it in that much detail in this video. I do have separate videos going through every single menu on the multimedia system. This is just more like the basics to get you going. But if you did go in here, this just shows you like the charge state, socket flap where the charger flap opens. And of course you can schedule charging on certain models of Mercedes here, although most of the time that's done through a smart charger at home. Of course, if you don't have an electric car, you'll just have a car settings button. So in here, it's quick access to some settings that you might want to toggle off. For example, speed warning, and then lane assist, and of course, car alarms and parking sensors and that sort of thing. Which reminds me, if you want to turn off that speed warning alert that keeps on binging and bonging at you as you're driving around, you can do that here, but Mercedes have actually got a button just up here. Of course, the button after that is hazards, so nice and easy, just on and off. This black touchpad here is a fingerprint sensor, so believe it or not, this can actually scan your fingerprint and you can log into your profiles. Now, that actually falls under the profile bit, so the video I mentioned earlier, again, that's linked down below. So if you do want to set that up, you can actually log in with either a PIN number or your fingerprint recognition. So pretty clever and pretty high tech. This one here is the power button for the screen, so this can actually just turn the screen off if you don't want the screen on, just want to focus on driving. Then of course there's a mute button and a volume button. Now what I should add, you can actually press the volume like this, or you can swipe. Just bear in mind if you swipe it is quite sensitive, so it does go up quite quickly. So yes, the first thing that I know a lot of people are going to want to do is obviously connect up their phones. So let me grab my phone and we'll connect this up via Bluetooth. And quite simply, on most modern phones, all you need to do is just go to settings and then go to Bluetooth and then leave it on this screen here like this. Then on the car, go onto home, phone, connect device, and then just follow the steps. There we go, NIX i16 Pro Max, tap on that one, and then just follow the steps on the screen here. So we'll have a prompt come up in any second, pair, allow the contacts, and then if you want to use CarPlay, then you can press OK. I'm going to press OK on this just to show you how to toggle between the two. And that's it all connected, as simple as that. Now CarPlay is its own video in itself. I'm going to cover another video on Apple CarPlay very soon. So make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out, because it's having a major update. But for now, to toggle between the Mercedes system and CarPlay, just press the home button and then Apple CarPlay on the top up here. That's how you toggle between those two. But I'm going to just continue going through the Mercedes one for now. So now our phone's connected, let's tune the radio. So if we go to home and then radio, all we do is just swipe across to virtually any station you want. And the one that's there is the one that's playing. So yeah, it's as simple as this. You just swipe across, choose the one you want, and the one that's there is the one that's playing. Now if you want to add a favourite, so like presets and that sort of thing, just hold your finger on the screen and then it throws it up into the favourites menu. So if we added, what do we add there? Capital Extra Reloaded. Let's go to gold here, for example. Hold in the middle, another one in there. Now if we go to favourites, we'll have those two favourites just in there. So quite easy if you can have like 3, 4 or 5 stations saved as favourites. After radio, of course, is media. Now, media is pretty much anything else other than radio. So if we go home and then media, media is going to be anything over Bluetooth. So anything you just play music audio sources from your phone, or like an MP3 player or something. Apple CarPlay, this will be for apps on your phone. And then of course there's also USB as well, so you can plug in your phone using a couple of USB-C ports down there, and also a couple in there as well, and a couple there. So yeah, this one's got 6 USB-C ports just in the front. So yeah, slight overkill on that one, but yeah, you can plug it into one of those and play music from like a memory stick or a hard drive. New to Mercedes as well is the ability to play music from an online streaming service without your phone. So to see this, if you go to MB Apps, you will see Amazon Music, Apple Music, Spotify, Tidal. There's even YouTube on here now as well, which is pretty cool. So yeah, there we go. Literally watching myself talk about Spotify and Apple Music in your Mercedes-Benz. Anyway, that's weird, but yeah, if you want to watch that video, then it's linked down below. Let's come out of this. The other important thing to note as well is climate control. So along the bottom here is the climate control for this particular car. Sometimes in Mercedes-Benz they are buttons, but then of course other times they are all on the touchscreen. So basically it will look a bit like this when it's on, and you simply just turn the temperature up here like this and turn it down like this. And then there's a fan speed over here as well, which is also how you turn it off. And you can also press climate menu and adjust a few things on the screen there like that, such as enabling eco mode for electric cars. Other things to note as well, there's max demisting for the front and then window demisting for the rear, which also does your mirrors, so that's also good to know for the winter. So yeah, that's as far as it goes from the basics in terms of what you'll use most of the time. Of course there is sat-nav, which we'll briefly go through, and then of course buttons on the steering wheel, and then that's pretty much it. So to use the sat-nav, if we go where to on the top here, just type in where you want to go. So let's just go to, I don't know, Bournemouth Beach, as it's very much the summer right now. Now, believe it or not, Mercedes actually they don't use Google Maps, but they do use Google POIs, and that's why you can see this Google symbol up here. Apparently the beach has a 4.7 star rating. So yeah, go in here, and then let's go.
Please proceed to the highlighted route.
Then you just follow the blue road. Now, if you want to mute
is located in an area with restricted access.
If you want to mute the sat-nav, because it always interrupts you, there's a mute button just here. And cleverly, actually, it does actually retain that setting. So that is my preferred preference, to have the sat-nav muted. If you want to unmute it again, press the button.
Please proceed to the highlighted route.
And then we have the finish button at the top there, which, little finish with the cross, that will cancel the sat-nav there as well. Lastly, there are some buttons up here which are worth knowing. So, for example, this button here I've got at the moment actually is the lights for the doors. So you know when you've got like a door open, it basically puts the lights on. I've had that on like that just because I didn't want the lights on the entire time with the door open, but that just turns the lights off. This one puts the front lights on. Then there's a Me button with a call button up there. So if you need to phone Mercedes-Benz for any reason, say you have a problem with the app or some questions or something like that, you can actually press that button and speak to them, which is pretty cool. Makes a call using the car's multimedia system. This is also the breakdown button as well. All you do is press that button and it will just phone them. So it's super easy. I haven't had to use it yet, touch wood. The last button up here is the SOS button, so if you need to ring 999 or 112 depending on where you live, press that and it will phone them, and it'll even transmit the car's location as well, just to help get help to you as quickly as possible. So they really do think of a lot of things. It's nice to see a lot of cars do have that these days. And then if you did have a sunroof, which this car does not, it'll be in this sort of crevice here. So basically finger goes in and swipe back that way, remove your finger and it will do the blind backwards and of course open, and then finger in there, swipe that way, remove your hand and it will close. So that is how you do that. There's also a button in there to put it on vent as well. Lastly, we have the steering wheel. Now, the steering wheel in a lot of Mercedes-Benz these days is all touch, and quite simply, if you put a line down the middle of the steering wheel, the left-hand side over here controls the left screen, and the right-hand side over here controls the right screen. So left-hand side, back, home, up, down, left and right buttons, that all does that. Then you've got answering calls, so answer, hang up, volume and mute, and also the speed warning that I mentioned earlier. There's also a voice button here as well. So yes, this multimedia system also has a voice assistant built in. Just for the purpose of this video, I'm just kind of not going through every conceivable detail in the car. I do have a separate video on some of the top commands for the Hey Mercedes voice assistant, but you can simply say, "Hey Mercedes."
Hello, I'm Mercedes, your voice assistant.
And the start is the favourites menu, so you can customise a few things over on here. Then of course over here, this top section controls this screen, so you can control various different things from a trip computer to sat-nav. Again, I've got a video on that one, so I'll link that up above and down below as well. And then over here, there's cruise control. I've also covered a video on that too. So I guess the next thing is, of course, how you put it into drive and everything like that. So basically, foot on the brake pedal, press the start-stop button over here, which will then turn it on. And in electric cars, you'll see it says ready just over there. So I'll bring that down so you can see. And of course, if it was an actual petrol or diesel, you'll hear it start up. Then of course, the gear stick is over here. So yes, there is no gear stick in the middle. The gear stick is just this bit here. It goes up for reverse, down for drive, and the button on the end for park. And of course, then wipers over here on the left-hand side. So there we go then guys, that concludes this week's video. Let me know your thoughts down below. Did you have any questions, or is there a particular topic you'd like me to cover? Let me know in the comment section down below. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, see you then.